Hi, welcome back to channel TrainStation2. Alright, good first in the second competition, automobile event, and of course showing you the gift code car23, so you get 50 keys in addition to your collection so far. Do remember, we need 4,000 keys in total to exchange for the legendary, and of course, if you're lucky, winning the competitions, you get 350 coins. That adds up to be 700 in total. So far, I've collected 2 first, and I'll need just another first in order to collect that 1000 event coins legendary. So that being said, I may not collect them so soon because I'm crossing over to Japan really soon. I'm currently at 695, and really we just need a bit more to go, which is hopefully we cross to level 700 after securing 1000 event coins, because now we're just trying to delay the progress by not playing during the 1 day break in between the competitions, because otherwise I may progress too fast and eventually may lose out in competitions. So entering a new region in the midst of competitions is no joke. Apparently you just make sure you only enter at the end of the event or after minimally is when you secure that 1000 event coins. Alright, so I'm trying my best to win. So far so good. As I mentioned, we got 2 out of 3 wins. We need 1 more to go. If we didn't get that last win, I'm afraid we may not have a chance to win once we cross Japan. Imagine this 700, so we need 300 more. I still got 4 more competitions to go, so I'm really hoping as long as we get top 3, probably at the 4th or 5th competitions, we should be good to go with the savings of 1000 event coins. EPH starts is extremely important from the second competition onwards, so please during this 1 day break do remember to build up your inventory of all the event items as well as these core factories that you have, i.e. the non-event factories itself. That being said, keep those EP and do not collect them. If you have 3 of those, you wait until you start 3rd competitions before you start collecting the completion of the jobs to collect the EP. So in just you shouldn't be locking into the game at all, because once you're locked in the game, even you do not go to collect EP or do not enter into the event map, you're considered classified into entering the competitions already. So please do not do so. If you want to start late like what I usually do, that's the key to winning. We need to basically just keep on playing all the way to the last 1 hour of the before the start of the competition, shut down the game and do not own it until the next day, probably about 12 hours later, and then you start playing again. So that's means of starting late in itself. That being said, I think at the end of the day, you continuous locking in at least once an hour, so make sure you send your trains out and dispatchers working hard, making sure your factory is running around the clock. All these are important aspects in order to win the competitions, and of course not forgetting the fact that you save up those gems, because who knows, you may need 1 or 2 just to push things forward, because sometimes you may be stuck whereby you do not have the items and you have all the dispatchers idling. I think that's the worst scenario ever. So in terms of sending dispatchers, that's really a strategy you can apply. You could of course send simultaneously. I mean, every single job you do, just maximize the train type and capacity you could, but the risk there is that if you complete all 3 jobs and all 3 new jobs you do not have the items, you'll be in deep trouble then, and you will face a dilemma of what should you do, be spending those precious gems or just gonna waste that hour. So I urge you to always focus to complete 1 job at the same time, balance it off by making sure at least 2 other jobs you have at least 1 of those jobs to have items. If not, please make sure you start preparing for them until you have the items before you send out your dispatches. So generally that's how it works out. And of course at this juncture, we are 3rd because I mean, early in the morning you wake up, you get this terrible shock. So it's always a different time zone sometimes, but that makes it it's maybe to our advantage sometimes, because when we end the competition, it may be their sleeping time after all. So that is something part and parcel of life. So you just depends on where you stay in a part of the world, and it is the clocks at our time at about 8 o'clock, so we are still in good time. But again, whenever you go sleep, you just thought that you may be winning, but you end up surprised. Maybe you drop a few ranks down, but that is part and parcel of TrainStation. You can't be round the clock working on the game without sleep, right? So that's how it works out. So we really need to just apply the strategy of consistently playing during the daytime, and then apparently when you send out dispatches, again I mentioned, do not send out or and complete or at the same time. Complete one first, and you're willing to at least you have one of the jobs ready with all the items. So even you need more time to gather for the third one, at least you have items to deliver, because sometimes you'll be stuck with a situation whereby you do not have sufficient warehouse spaces, and you can't get the inventory, and you get stuck for everything. So I'm just going to balance that pack itself. So that being said, capacity, especially the rare ones, you're gonna make sure you send your best rare train out. So imagine you have a rare of 6 and a rare of 20 or 30. You just make sure, I mean, when you send out those rare jobs, dispatches, you send out the 30 and 20 first, and you can keep the 6 for later on, because 6 doesn't make any useful to it. And then you just send 2 of the rare trains for that job, and you can rely on the other jobs to get your maximize your capacity. So that's what I meant by sometimes situational, because if you keep on just sending your 6 rare capacity trains to do that rare job, then you may be wasting all your dispatches. After all, you can send maybe 80 capacity, like I have legendaries with 80. So I'll rather send an 80 one rather than the 6, right? Because generally that's how it works. So you just focus on the 80 on another piece of job, and then that job you just send your 30 and 20s with the rare, and then you keep the 6, and then you save up the dispatches for the other one. You can use the 80 capacity legendary on. So that being said, this is just a balancing effect of what you can maximize. At the same time, just make sure you have all the items. Sometimes it depends on luck as well. Some items you may just grab from the factory and ready there. And sometimes, most of the time, they will ask for event items, and you just call around the clock. Keep on manufacturing those event items, and if you know, sometimes the non-event items they ask for a really huge quantity. Likewise, you can see here we're really lucky here. We have just flour and steel, so both are some things that you can grab from the factory itself. Is a steel factory and the flour factory, so that's too much concern. In that situation, you can send anything you want, but on the other instance, sometimes you may be stuck with items that you do not have. You just got to concentrate to get it done and over with before you send out dispatches. So warehouse spaces, again, I gotta mention this. Your warehouse increase is really tough because of the lack of population. That is how Pixel controls it. Likewise for coins, where you control it against your upgrading of your train's capacity. So Pixel always control these two things, coins, basically the goal, as well as the population. So that actually makes the game tougher. But besides that, you're just going to work it out. Apparently, if warehouse, you're just going to use your factories as additional warehousing space, and of course, coins wise, you're just going to collect every couple of hours. And during the event, make sure you change for the gold, so you can save up a bit more from there. And do not upgrade your trains. Like I've stopped upgrading mine in the current region. I'm going to save up the coins in order to move on to Japan, and we will spend millions in Japan just to upgrade the train capacity, because that's a matter of fact, that's how it works in a new region after all. Parts likewise, legendary gold, you have your epic parts, your rare, and your common. Just gonna save up because you use lots of them in Japan as well. That's what I'm looking forward to very soon, probably in the midst of this competition, if we're lucky at the tail end of it, and eventually when I move to Japan, it's a totally new ball game. The only good thing is that during competitions they ask for as the current region and the previous region, so at least have a strong current region that exited next in when enter Japan as your previous region, then that exit support always have a strong foundation is important. So with that, we just got to bear in mind, we're gonna save up lots of those metal keys at the midpoint. So like 650 onwards, I stopped spending keys, and bring in 5,000 over keys into Japan. 5601 right now. So 56 containers going to open with the 100 ones, and let's see how things work out. Most of the time, you can bear in mind as or the comments. Alright, managed to fly to the second rank here. As you can see, you have faced a situation like that whereby you have a rare job that's get 49 EP. It will take a long time. Likewise, I got another things to do is the fabric, so just gonna make sure we have those items at the same time managing the warehouse spaces. We've got 3 more hours to go at this juncture, almost there. Just gonna strategize what you can fulfill in the 3 hours. Do not do everything, just only do things that you could complete, because 3 hours is really short. So definitely not going to do the fabric. There's no way I can complete the fabric delivery since I do not have any. So I just focus on the other 2 jobs. If I'm lucky, I'm going to complete both of them within the 3 hours time gap, and then eventually, bear in mind, got a 1 hour minimal to bring back the thing to the dispatches. So that's complete. It's only when you have left with the hour 20 minutes, then you can send out the last batch. That completes the delivery, then you're considered good. Otherwise, you'll be on. You can't send it in the last couple of minutes and you achieve it. No, it doesn't count as that. So just make sure you got a full hour before the standard delivery. So you see, we've got an hour. So with that 1764, couple second more, I'm really lucky here. Number 2 guy doesn't have any more ammunition to go, and I managed to claim that 350 coins. All right, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe, and I wish you have good rest, and I wish you all the best in the next competition. Goodbye.